This video is costing me several $1,000s to make. And no, not in a good Mr. Beast kind of way. Both of my Mercedes are currently broken. Shout out German vehicles, but German dogs, they're not broken. Heck yeah, Rex. My 1997 SL500 needs, I think, a fairly expensive fix because it developed a relatively extensive leak over the winter as I stored it. And my 2005 E55 also had a fuel smell if you watched my previous E55 video. So I wanted to address that one first. They're both getting addressed in this video, but I did it in two different ways. I took my E55 to a Mercedes dealership, and I have never taken any of my personal cars to a dealership in my life. I don't know what to expect. All I know is they're going to be expensive because that's all I've heard, and especially a Mercedes dealership. However, I took the SL500 to an independent mechanic to then compare the difference in price, because I also got a quote for the final repair on the E55 at the same independent mechanic. I know they're two different issues, but I tried to make it as fair as possible, and I'm going to show you the experience that you get taking your car to a dealership versus taking your car to an independent mechanic in this video. So I started by repairing the E55 because, well, it had a fuel smell, so I kind of wanted to take care of that ASAP, and this is my daily driver. So I drove out to Mercedes, and they had no idea I was filming any of this, so don't think I got any special treatment or anything like that. But they did take care of me very well. So I drove up, I saw all of their extensive new EQS lineup sitting on the lot. It's all SUVs. It was so depressing to see. But then I pulled into the service bay, which had a really fancy door. They took me inside, took my keys, said, go have a coffee. Now I went to the coffee machine, very fancy coffee machine. I don't know if you're like me, but I don't know anything about the differences of coffee. As long as it says coffee, I'll take it. But man, was that ever confusing. And then I got my loaner vehicle. So they gave me the option of a C300 or a GLB. I didn't even know you can get loaner vehicles, but I guess that completely makes sense. So they offered that to me. I obviously took it. And because I review cars on the straight pipes, I had already driven the C300. So I wanted to see what the GLB was like.
Oh, good thing that's not me.
It wasn't very good. It was very base model-esque. But I appreciated having a loaner because then I was able to go home, get some work done. And then they called me at the end of the day, told me what the problem was, and then I went back to get my car.
And they washed it? Hell yeah.
Now they did offer to let me keep the loaner for the extent of the repair, but I did not want to drive a GLB the entire time, and luckily I didn't because it actually took several weeks for the parts to come in and then the appointment to be made. So I also didn't want to take up a loaner vehicle the entire time because, yeah, it's got a fuel smell, but I didn't think it was actually that serious. So it turns out that it was not the faulty fuel sending units that there was an extended warranty on, plus my car is well out of that warranty. It's up to 15 years, I think, in Canada, and mine's outside of that because it's a 2005. So it turned out to be the charcoal vapor canister. So I was like, okay, that's going to be relatively cheap. Can't be too bad. They also found some leaking fuel hoses, so they also wanted to replace those that ran to the gas tank. So overall, I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but at the same time, I knew kind of what I was getting into with a Mercedes dealership, so I expected at least $1,000. I took my car back, and here's how all of that went. So it's now 3 weeks later. I'm going back to the Mercedes dealership to actually get the problem fixed. Now, a couple weeks ago, they texted me to explain what the problem was, and I approved the budget that they quoted me on, but I'm not going to tell you the total price yet because I haven't received my invoice, and in case they find anything else that I have to pay for today, which I assume this car is going to be completely fixed today, I will let you know towards the end of the video. So about 2 weeks ago, they told me that the parts were on order. 1 week ago, they arrived, and I took the first available appointment, which was today. So 3 weeks from the point that I first went to the Mercedes dealership to get this problem assessed, I am now going back to get it repaired in hopefully the same day. They also offered me a loaner vehicle again, so I will be taking them up on that offer. It's a little bit early. I haven't had any coffee yet, in case you could tell by the bags under my eyes. I'm also 12 minutes late for my appointment. Sorry, Mercedes. But I will be abusing the free coffee considering how much they quoted me on this invoice. But again, I will tell you guys later. And I also, in case I got the part wrong, I did look it up on Rock Auto for how much the part should cost you know, an aftermarket version of it. And it seems to be very cheap, so I'm not really sure where all this extra money is coming from. So I'll let you know when I figure that out. Pulling into the Mercedes dealership. I'm supposed to go left, but I always like to take a little loop to the right to see what they have here. Look, it's littered with all SUVs. Everything's in, ooh, E500, look at this thing. Uh-oh, poor guy. Look at all these SUVs. It's all SUVs. Sure, there's some AMGs and stuff, but it is all SUVs. Oh, we got some sedans. Here we go. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. There's a lot of sedans here now. Oh, a lot of EQSs. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I don't think those are selling very well. A lot of EQ products. All right, well, there you go. Oh, I love that logo, that Mercedes AMG. It does look super cool. I gotta take a picture of my car under this eventually. That's good that looks. And here's the rest of them over here. Yeah, lots of SUVs. Some sedans though. That's pretty good. I'll take it. Oh, look at this guy again. Ouch. Maybe he's just dumped on one side. Maybe he just switched to hydraulics. You know, benefit of the doubt. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into the service reception area with the fancy door that goes up super fast. I don't know what this guy's doing, but I'm going to go around him. But I'm gonna cut the camera when I get to the inside because they don't know I'm filming all this. So let's pick this one. Sure, let's just go with this one. So when they allow me to go in, I'm just gonna turn the camera off and be nice. So now I'm in my C300 loaner, which is pretty sick to get one. They also gave me the option of a GLB again. I figured I'd take the C300. And one special thing that I got out of this, I'm really getting my money's worth today. When I was getting my loaner set up, I saw a poster behind a bunch of boxes. And I said, hey, why isn't that up there? It looks like a SLS. She's like, oh, I don't know what that is. You can have it. Whips it out. Guess what I just came home with? A free SLS AMG poster that's just been sitting at Mercedes for who knows how long that they haven't put it up. Ugh. Hopefully you guys can see that. Look at this. This is one of my dream cars, SLS AMG, and now I got a poster of it. Hell yeah. Worth whatever I'm about to pay, maybe, which is a lot of money. And I did get my fancy coffee, which is just a coffee because I didn't understand any of the other coffees. All right, so now I get to drive home, do some work at home, and then the next update should be that my car is ready, and I'll know how much it cost. See you guys soon, hopefully, end of the day. It's early. They said they needed the car for the whole day. There's a lot of cool AMGs here. And apparently the AMG tech is the only person to work on my car because only AMG techs work on AMGs, which is pretty cool. So again, I feel like getting my money's worth, but at the same time, maybe that's why it's costing so much because maybe there's a different rate for AMG techs. I didn't actually ask. See you guys when I get my car back. So I just got the text message. My car is ready. I'm on the way. And yes, I'm in the C300. I'm going to take this quick opportunity to do a quick review on this thing. Loaner versus loaner, this versus the GLB that I previously had. This is a much nicer ride. The C300 actually feels like a luxury car in comparison to the GLB, whereas the GLB just kind of feels like a Hyundai almost. Very plasticky and creaky and just doesn't give you that sense of quality where I know the C300 is, you know, some car reviewers have talked down on this because it's an entry-level Mercedes, possibly including myself on the Straight Pipes where I review brand new cars. But this is actually quite nice driving it back-to-back with a GLB. All right, I know you guys aren't here for GLB and C300 content, so next update at the dealership. With the price. Ugh. We are here and I see my car. Oh, hell yeah, she's done. Looking good. All right, let's go inside and see how much this is going to cost me. First, I gotta find a parking spot. So I have my bill. Now, just gonna read a little bit of what's going on here. So they first found that there was the purge line that was disconnected between the purge valve and the engine. And then there was also some sort of clicking noise from the engine area because I complained about a fuel smell. And then sometimes when I would pump the gas, it would click off a little bit early. So I told them to investigate the charcoal canister. Turns out it was actually the charcoal canister. So they also found, I think that was it actually. So, oh no, they did find something else. So here are the things that they had to replace. So they inspected the fuel tank for fuel leakage. They didn't find any. They replaced the fuel hose in front of the fuel tank. So I think that was 0.55 hours of labor and then 0.2 hours of labor. And so they replaced a hose and a hose clamp. I think that's all they replaced. So there's two part numbers on here. I'll look up those prices online after, but the parts are very reasonably priced here. Let's see what else. There was an internal fault in the charcoal canister, so they had to replace the charcoal canister, which is what I figured. And there's a part number for activated charcoal. And again, pretty good. Okay, so there was a lot of labors. I think it was 2 hours of labor, and obviously not cheap labor rate, but everything all said and done, $1,700, which, I mean, it's kind of a lot of money, like actually a lot of money, but yeah, it's kind of a lot of money, but the service was great. I honestly can't complain about it. I see why people go to the dealer. I'm just so used to going to independent shops for my whole life that I'm not used to like having loaners and things. You got to like get an Uber, sit around for a couple hours. So like that part's all nice. And I completely understand why someone would just take their car to the dealer and not seek out independent shops. Now I'm going to do a full first start on camera. Heck yeah. Now obviously I wouldn't smell fuel inside. The fuel was always on the outside, so I'm looking forward to not smelling that anymore and stinking up my garage and stuff like that. So, I mean, all said and done, that's pretty good. Also, there's a funny note that it says car from Japan, which I assume means that they couldn't scan it or something in the system. So they just literally had to write that. So honestly, shout out Mercedes. Pretty good. I could see myself coming back. Now, I still do have my SL that is at European Automotive right now for a separate issue. So this video will continue on with my Mercedes SL500 and its potentially more expensive issue. Could be cheaper, but probably not. So video continues on. Thanks for watching the E55 portion. So here it is in summer mode because it's been a couple weeks. So they fixed the fuel smell. There's been no issue since. I had a great experience. I see why people go to dealerships. However, I also see why people don't go to dealerships because it was quite expensive. Next thing to fix, the SL. So I had to take that to European Automotive. Now, I didn't actually have any time to film anything on the way there or them taking out the transmission because I was doing a lot of flying. I think I was in, where was I? Utah and San Diego. So I couldn't film it, but I did pop by and I was able to see the removed transmission just sitting on a transmission stand. So they investigated, they determined that it was definitely some sort of internal transmission leak, which whenever you hear those words, that's going to be expensive and that's not a good thing. So they outsourced the transmission repair to a transmission shop. They took that elsewhere. I think it was done in a couple days. The overall, from dropping my car off and picking it back up because the transmission shop was on vacation, also took a couple weeks. So comparable to the dealership experience in some instances. However, I got my bill and it was quite pricey. So I had to go pick it up and let's see how all that went. Just hopped out of the Uber and here's my car. Heck yeah. I spent half my time in Uber, so I could probably just start an Uber review channel. Oh, look at this beauty. I mean, it should look the same because the exterior hasn't changed and I don't see any trails of leaking or anything like that. So, I mean, so far so good. Also, look at the cars here. Should I get a Rolls Royce one day? Damn, that thing's got a lot of presence. Okay, well, should be good to go now. No leaks, no nothing. Let's go find Brad and see how much this cost me. Oh boy. At European Automotive. So I'm with Brad. Brad's gonna give me the damage. This is the damage guy. Okay, so first of all, what was wrong with the SL?
I was leaking from the front pump, from the pump and the seal in the bell housing.
Okay, so the actual transmission was leaking internally?
Internally, yes.
So you guys had that done at a transmission shop, or you guys did part of that and then?
Pulled it here, transmission shop did the repair, we put it back in the car.
Okay, so the transmission had to be removed and then had to be reinstalled, so that's a lot of labor. Parts, potentially expensive, but maybe not. And you guys had it for a couple of weeks because you had to remove it and then
The transmission guy was also on vacation.
Yeah, exactly, so it's not really your fault. Okay, what else? Okay, so I'm gonna guess. About $2,000.
$1,500 for that part.
$1,500. Let me see this. Okay, so 15. Okay, so the transmission. So everything that you guys.
Plus the
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. The power steering pump. Yeah. So we had to do the power steering pump. There was 2 leaks going on, which I thought was one. That's why it was all kind of coming off.
Mixing.
Yeah. It was coming off.
They were friends.
It was coming off the front pulley, and it looked like it was like clearish fluid or like oily fluid, but then also
A tinge of red.
red fluid. So it was kind of throwing me off. Yeah. Okay. So total damage $2,500. This SL is costing me a lot of money. But it's got a special story, which I'll explain one day. Okay, so that's the damage on that. Now, I did tell Brad that I cheated on them. I took my E55 to...
Those papers are in the mail.
I'm very sorry, Brad. I took my E55 to Mercedes, as you guys just saw in the previous clips. Now, I did get Brad to also quote me on the same job that Mercedes did to show you guys the price difference at an independent place versus Mercedes. And I knew it was going to be very expensive at Mercedes. So, Brad, what is the damage for the E55, the exact same repair? Minus the taxes, no tax.
$718 and 59 cents.
Okay, so $700. So that's less than half of what it cost me at Mercedes.
Correct.
That's okay. And then let's add in about $100 for, let's just say,
I don't have loaners, so
no
you gotta get home.
no loaners, so Ubers. So that's actually pretty cheap. So $800 versus $1,700 at Mercedes. Okay, well, there's a reason to go to independent shops, so thank you, Brad. Yeah, okay, so I'm not paying this bill because I didn't actually get it done, but that's just a quote. So
That's your goal.
thank you, Brad.
You got
All
to
right.
pay me for that one. You can't.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
These are mine.
Yeah, he still has the keys, damn it. All right, well, I'm going to pay Brad, get out of here, and then finish up the video at home in the garage. Thanks, Brad.
No problem.
Every time I drive this 1997 Mercedes SL500, where Mercedes did not pinch any pennies and they made such high quality vehicles, I'm just reminded of the greatness that Mercedes was. However, after driving this for about 30 seconds with the windows down, I realized something that you may already be looking at, and not sure if you can see it, but my headliner's already sagging. I swear I did not put the car away with a saggy headliner. I would have noticed that and probably taken care of it over the winter. So yeah, that's another problem that just got added to the list, which I did not anticipate. You know what? This car is just the gift that keeps on giving. But to be honest, I'm getting a little frustrated here because this is getting ridiculous. Man, I know the soft top also needs to be replaced. I never drive with the hard top on. The soft top's always down too. So it's like, if I just drive it with the soft top down, leave it parked with the soft top down, and don't do anything else, this car is basically perfect. But if you want this car to actually be perfect, I think the only thing left on this car to fix would be the soft top and now this headliner, which is, man, I'm actually really upset right now because this was not put away like this. So I guess the glue just separated over the winter. All right, back to the garage. But man, this thing is high quality. Gotta keep saying it's high quality because it honestly does feel like it. Like this same feeling I get from modern Porsches where they're all put together so nicely that it just gives you that sense of quality. When you go over bumps, it's that solid feeling that you don't get from a lot of other cars. And door closed, things like that, that I even compared to the new SL63, it's not the same as this. Maybe the headliners are better. Maybe the soft tops are better. All right, back to the garage. The gift that keeps on giving, the SL500. I am legitimately quite upset that the headliner is sagging. Obviously, it's not European Automotive's fault. Just the chances of it happening while it's there, oh, man, it's so upsetting that it literally just happened on my way back. Because I remember, and I actually took a picture of myself in the car before I dropped it off, because I was sending Yuri a picture from the Straight Pipes, my co-host, and the headliner was not sagged. So in whatever, 2 or 3 weeks that the car was there, it literally just decided to sag. So now I guess I have to go to an upholstery shop and get that repaired. But I guess the good thing is that the hardtop is removable. So hopefully that's just a cheap fix that they just spray some glue in there and good to go. But that is really upsetting. Hopefully there's no more leaks now. The transmission is, I think they had to replace the front bell housing or something like that. Anyways, hopefully there's no more leaks. I'm tired of all the leaks with all these German cars, I swear. What is it with German cars and gaskets? What don't you guys get? What kind of materials were you using? I know there was some like EU stuff about biodegradable stuff. This isn't one of the biodegradable wiring harness cars. It's a 1997. Thankfully, I did look into that before I bought this, but man. So there you have it. Independent mechanic versus dealership. and the cost of everything. So obviously it's pricier to go to the dealership. The level of service seems to be a little bit higher, but you're definitely paying for that. And I know some people have had bad experiences at dealerships, so, you know, it's give and take here and there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, because you guys watching helps me pay for the bills for all these things. So the 50 bucks or whatever I make from this video will go to the maintenance of these cars. Should I get rid of this SL? I bought it for a special reason, but I'm kind of thinking that it's a little bit annoying to maintain. It turns out old German cars, everything that people have said is true, but I mean, every time I drive it, it's so nice. I literally drove it this morning before I parked it in this garage, and it felt fantastic. It is built rock solid. There's literally no cars like this today, maybe Porsches and stuff like that, but like for Mercedes, nothing is built like that today. And it pains me to try and get rid of this thing because it drives so nice, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I've basically taken care of everything on this car. This isn't the for sale ad. I'm just kind of talking out loud here, but man, is it a nice car. Other than the leaks that I'm trying to fix. Maybe I should just leave some of the leaks and just let it be. Just put a pan underneath it. Maybe that's what people do when they maintain German cars. I'm not really sure, but this SL500 is lovely. Sorry, SL, the E55 is lovely. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video, which will actually probably be the Corvette, unless that was already out. And then I'm actually going to do a video on the Fox body, because the Fox body is getting an update. Thanks for subscribing. See you guys in the next one.